Ernest at the Ironwood American Leadership Academy, and I'm here tonight to visit with you about skill number 7 of the Smart But Scattered video series, which is a program developed to help students acquire, develop, and strengthen executive skills. And tonight, I'll be introducing skill number 7. So skill number 7 is promoting, planning, and prioritizing. Let me repeat those. Promoting, planning, and prioritizing. So the ability to create a roadmap to reach a goal or to complete a task. It involves being able to make decisions about what's important to focus on and what's not important to focus on. So an example of weakness in planning, the first one is teens being unable to plan out preparation for a project due in the near future. So let's just talk about a science project. Let's say that you have to build a model of, I think it's pretty common to do planets in the younger elementary grades. So maybe a model of a specific space shuttle. And so what would be the steps to doing that? And so a student who is strong in this area would probably, they would probably YouTube it or go on and Google it and find out all the information, see what's out there, and figure out what they want to do. So that might be like the research day. The next day was to get pictures of it. And then after that, decide which one you want. And then plan out from the real photo or the picture onto a rough draft where you draw it out. And you decide, okay, what types of materials am I going to use to recreate that look? And then there's the next level, which students forget about a lot, is sometimes there's a cost to it because they do it at the last minute. And so you have to go and buy all the things, whereas if you asked around, you could probably get a lot of those things. Maybe your neighbors or friends have them, or you can come up with other ideas to replicate what you're looking for. And then after that, there's the assembling it. And then there's the time that you wait for it to dry. I don't know how many times we've painted things at the last minute and then we've got the fan on it waiting for it to dry so it'll be ready for the next day at school. And then planning to know, okay, where do we take the project? How am I going to get it to school? And where do we take it when we get it to school? What time do we go to the teacher's classroom before the day starts? How am I going to carry this project around? What needs to go with the project? Is there going to be a report, and have I prepared that? Or are there going to be labels on it? Is it going to be displayed? How am I going to display it? Is it going to hang from the ceiling? Or will I need to have my own table? Or what is required? Am I going to be presenting it? If I am, what am I going to wear? So these are all different steps in the roadmap to accomplish turning in a successful project. Okay, teen struggles to pack for a family trip. All right, so I don't know if you've had this problem, but it occurred to me with my youngest daughter that there might be a reason why she was delaying packing. And we noticed when it's time to go that she was not ready, and that happened several times. And then I realized it was causing her a lot of stress because she didn't want to get to the event and not have the right thing. And so then there was a point in time where she was actually packing too much to make sure she had everything that she needed, pulling things out of the dirty clothes because she didn't get her laundry done, all these things. So finally I decided to just make a note for her on my notes on my phone, okay, of exactly how many pairs of underwear, how many pairs of socks, which kind of shoes she needed, a swimming suit, a toothbrush, every possible thing that she would need, and I put it in categories for her. And then I sent that to her just through a text, and I said, here's what we need tomorrow. And she's actually saved that packing list because every year we go to a beach house, and so we always pack the same things. And so since then, she's always been ready on time. She hasn't brought extra, and she's organized, and she feels confident, and she's not leaving the house feeling stressed. And we're not frustrated with her that she's not ready, and we're able to plan for ourselves too. strengths in planning and prioritizing for just your day-to-day events. So remember that there's a scale of strong, which is very much, pretty much, or just a little strength in this area. And then in the weakness side, it's just a little weakness, pretty much. There's a lot of weakness. So that's kind of how the scale goes. So I'll read two statements. Some kids are great at figuring out the steps needed to do a project, but other kids don't know where to start or how to make a plan. Some kids know what's important or what needs to be done first, but other kids have trouble prioritizing when they have a lot to do. Some kids make a plan for the day either on paper or in their head, but other kids let the day unfold and then realize afterwards that there was stuff that didn't get done. Some kids divide an assignment into pieces and stick to a timeline, but other kids work on long-term projects in spurts without any real timeline. So I just would like to mention, in our opening Google Meet, my husband, Darren Thomas, mentioned that we rearranged the PowerPoint slides so that I would feel comfortable with them because I learn and I do things in a different way. So I was just going to say, when it says some kids divide an assignment into pieces and stick to a timeline, you may have in your mind what pieces that team needs to divide their project into, but maybe they have divided it, but in a different way, that it maybe not your best way, but it works for them. One is some kids are good at figuring out ways to save money for something they want, but other kids want expensive things and don't know how to go about saving money for them. And to be honest, having worked with finances with different couples and myself also in that is a skill that many of us have not quite attained yet. Like to know that you have to pay off a $3,000 credit card, you get a $1,000 check in the mail that you didn't know was coming from a rebate or a refund for something. It's so tempting to take that money to just get things that you need now instead of going back and paying the debt off, because and it's our ability or our weaknesses in planning and prioritizing skills. Whereas if you had a set plan with what was going to happen when money came in, then you would know automatically where the money would go based on the rules that you set for yourself. And that comes to do with financial planning. Your teen wants as a jumping off point for teaching planning skills. So if there's something that they really want to do, like I have a former student from the ALA Queen Creek campus that is, she graduated from the EVIT program and she's attending college in Idaho for 1 year so she can gain experience to run her own business. And so during the summer, even though she wanted to have fun with her friends because she had just graduated, she also had set a goal to pay for her own college for that year. And so she had appointments booked back to back every day. And what was happening is, because of her planning, she wasn't eating and taking care of herself and sleeping, so that she would get into this like exhaustion, overwhelm, and then she'd have to take 3 or 4 days off and have fun with her friends in order to keep going. And whenever she went to have fun, something would happen, like she'd lose her phone, which she had to pay for. She'd have a blowout of a tire, then she'd have to pay for that. So all of that has to do with those executive skills of learning to plan, and those life experiences also help teach you to plan. But the thing that kept her moving forward was that she had this goal that she wants to have her own salon. So that's how we began working together, that was her jump off point. Help me plan so that I can reach my goal. Okay, spell out in advance any priorities or limitations you want to impose on a goal that is more important to your team than to you. So let me read that one more time. Spell out in advance any priorities or limitations you want to impose on a goal that is more important to you than to you. More important to your team, on a goal that is more important to your team than to you. So let's say your student, this is so easy to use this example, let's say your student wants to purchase a car and you would like them to have good grades. Well, you could say, all right, you can work towards earning money for a car and I will pay for the insurance on the car if you can maintain your grades at a certain level. What level do you think that we could work with, that you would be comfortable with and that I would be comfortable with? And maybe it's having all C's, having all B's based upon what their educational goals are and what their abilities are. And so you spell out ahead of time. Okay, so what you're saying is if, what we're agreeing to is if you have a D, then you are going to have to pay for your own car insurance, which actually would go up because if the grades go down, then the cost of the insurance goes up. All right, involve your teen as much as possible in the planning process. And that's great, because a lot of times, as we mentioned in our Google Meet, sometimes your teens have plans for themselves. For like a Saturday afternoon, they plan to spend time with all their friends, and they made the arrangements, and they had no idea you were planning on taking the whole family up to the mountains as soon as you finished cleaning the house. And so they're frustrated. So if there was a time, maybe on a Sunday night or Saturday, that you sat down for the whole week and says, okay, this is what we have planned, what do you have planned? That really, really helps them to first of all feel involved and also knows what areas they can make their plans in and what areas to avoid. So next one is prompt your teen to prioritize by asking what needs to get done as the first step, the next step, and so on in the process. If your teen appears to understand the various pieces of the project that need to go, try that again. If your teen appears to understand the various pieces of the project that need to get done, but isn't sure how to get started. Okay, so the easiest thing to say is, so what's next? So you decided that you want to redo your bedroom in the New York modern style. So what's the next step? Well, I would like to get a desk. Okay, let's work on earning the money or saving the money or making a plan to get you a desk. And then when they get the desk, okay, what's next? Well, I would like to do kind of a brick wall background on my wall. Okay, let's think about how to save that money. So if we keep saying what's next, they have that idea, okay, I need to plan, and it's like a forward propelling motion that they begin to feel in their life, so they don't feel that stagnant feel, and also it makes them feel important and valued and like they are making a difference and they're going someplace. So those are all of the things I have to mention about this skill. We will catch you next time on the next skill.